Welcome to Excel Magic Trick number 999. Hey, if you want to download this workbook, $9.97 to $9.99, click on the link below the video. Hey, in this video, we want to conditionally format a row anytime the date matches one of the dates in this criteria area. Now, there's a few ways we can do this, and one of the ways will be much easier than any of the others. Now, the first thing is this looks like or, right? We're asking a question of that cell. Is this cell equal to that, or is it equal to that, or is it equal to that? And I'm going to leave a blank cell just in case I want to add a date later, right? So we could use the or function. Now, I'm going to do conditional formatting with a logical true-false formula, and I'm going to put it into the dialog box for this formatting here. But I'm going to build a formula over here just to see how it works, and then we'll put it in the dialog box. Now, I'm going to ask the question of that cell reference, and I'm going to lock with the F4 key the column reference, but not the row. So each one of these cells will look at this date, but when I copy it down, I'll move to the next date. All right. And I'm going to use that a few times. I'm going to say, are you equal to this? That's the first logical test, comma. Are you equal to this one, F4? Or are you equal to this one, F4? Or are you equal to this one? Now, that blank one won't hurt us, but if we put a date there, it will help. Now, that will work. That'll give me my series of trues and falses if I copy it down and over. I think I messed up on one of the cell references, and I did. Look at that right there. I forgot to lock this one, F4. So I copy it down and then double click and send it down. And so that would work, right? And that makes conceptual sense. But there's an easier formula than this or criteria. It'll still check and do exactly the same logical test, but it won't be so difficult to type out. We're just going to use the match function, not the math function. That's the math function. There's no math. There's a match. Now, the match is a lookup function. Now, I'm going to say, hey, lookup value, look up this date, F4, 1, 2, 3, lock the column but not the row, within where? This range right here, F4 to lock it in all directions. And since they do look like they sorted, but they might not be, I'm going to do exact match and put a 0. Now, what does match do? It delivers the relative position. 6, 2 is the first position in this lookup range. When I get down to 6, 6, right, it'll deliver a 3 because 6, 6 is in the third position. And what does it do if it can't find the date? It will return an NA. And copy this down. Now, the NAs would cause a problem in formulas, in most formulas, right? So what you'd usually do in a formula is you'd say, is this a number? Is number is a formula that looks at whatever the data is and says if it's a number, true, if it's anything else, false. So that would clean it up for formulas, right? But conditional formatting doesn't care. It'll ignore the NA. So guess what? I can use this formula here alone, and this will be the easiest amongst all of these. I'm going to copy the upper left cell with the formula and then highlight this range right here, Alt-HLN or ODN. Arrow, 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 tab, control V. Now I'm going to apply some formatting, and we will be good to go here. No problem with the NA. Now let's put a date here, 6/9/2013, and boom, instantly it updates. Control Z. Now, actually, let's change this to 7, right? So instantly it updates, absolutely beautiful. But notice that this range right here has an empty cell. What if we deleted a cell here? Now I'm going to, we have an empty cell in the date column. Notice that the OR function gets a match, right? Empty, empty, but whoa, the match function does not. In fact, let's run Formula Evaluator to see why this is true. I'm going to do Alt TUF, that's the old keyboard shortcut from 2003 or earlier. The new one is Alt MV. Let's evaluate this. Evaluate. Oh, it's got a 0 when it's looking at this. Evaluate, and it matches, I assume, this range right here is not a 0, and so it's not getting a match. So this one won't be affected by those empty cells. Escape, escape. All right, we'll see you next trick.